The Eagles, big winners in Week 1 in Atlanta. Here to talk about it, our weekly one-on-one with head coach Nick Sirianni. Coach, congratulations on the win. I know that you're on to San Francisco already, but as you looked through the tape, what are your big takeaways from the Week 1 victory?
I thought we played hard. I thought we played physical. I thought we played together. There is a lot to still clean up. There's a lot still to clean up that you would expect after the first time out there with for 75 plays, and so we gotta make sure that we're getting better from this tape and learning from this tape and stay in that mode of how we get better every single day.
It was cool to see Jalen get into that rhythm right away. Is that important in your mind for a quarterback to get off to a really good start?
It is, and I think that's something like, I compare a quarterback and how they throw and one of the little things that they do when they get going and throwing it to kind of like a jump shooter, right? You got to see a couple go in the hoops first before you really start to feel good, and so that's kind of how we treat that as well. So just get him a couple things that he can get going early with, and that doesn't mean it's always just a little dink and dunk. That could be something you feel really good about down the field as well. So he started off quick and he continued that throughout the rest of the game.
Nothing's ever easy, but are you saying that you'll at times scheme to get him something quote unquote easy just to get him flowing?
Yeah, just that to get that, sometimes even, let's say when a shooter is not doing well, he goes to the line, he gets a couple in there, and then he gets going that way. So we want to simulate that as much as we can just to kind of get him going and get in a groove for the game.
You've mentioned using options, having options for the quarterback. I'm not sure if fans understand what that means. Can you kind of break it down for us and explain what an option is for a quarterback on each play?
Yeah, every play has different options. Hey, we got this option if it's this coverage, this option if it's this coverage. And speaking of the pass game, if they give us this look, we're taking it downfield. If they don't, we're checking it down. And that can also be in the run game as well. Hey, in the run game, they're giving us this particular box count, okay, then it could be an option to throw it. Or they're giving this a different box count, it's an option to run it. Or, hey, you're reading a guy, whether it's a linebacker or a D lineman, and what does he do? And there's option to hand it or run it. So every play has those options in it. It's just, and then it's just the quarterback and Jalen just making the correct read off of what he sees on the defense.
Nick, the three young wide receivers that everybody's been watching, Devontae and Jalen and Quez, had really productive games against Atlanta. What does that do for them in the big picture here moving forward?
Yeah, confidence, to get confidence off those first couple, the first drive and to do some things that they did in that game. It's just confidence. It's a confidence builder that they know they can play in this league. They know they can make plays in this league, and they'll continue to make plays in this league. So, sometimes that's all it takes is some touches that they really did a good job of getting open on, and just to see it and kind of relive it with the film session today, and then just build upon that. So that was good to see. They all played pretty good games. Again, it's a lot of things still to clean up, and those three guys are no exception. They played great games, but they got things to clean up also.
I thought on the underrated side, JJ Arcega-Whiteside got a lot of reps early, and to me it looked like he was really instrumental blocking. Could you speak to that part of the game for him, and then just in general how important it is for wide receivers to block?
You see it right from the very first play. He had two blocks on the perimeter that allowed Quez to get an 11 or 12-yard gain on the very first play, and then another 10-yard gain right after that. And that was started off by JJ. And then you can see, as you look through the film, you see him do have a couple other big blocks that sprung explosive plays. When the ball gets to the receiver on the perimeter, it's because the offensive line did their job and got the thing going, and the back did his job, and the tight end did his job, and the quarterback made the right read. And so my message to receivers all the time is, hey, you never know when your block is going to turn a 10-yard gain into a 20-yard gain or more than that. And so you got to just block your tail off every single time. And, JJ did that, and we had some explosive runs because of the way he was blocking the perimeter. And he's our guy. He's our enforcer out there as far as our blocker. He's really accepted that role of being the enforcer, and he's going to be rewarded with the ball from it as well. But he really did a great job of springing some plays on the run game and on those quick screen games.
I like it. In the backfield, Miles and Kenny Gainwell, really nice 1-2 combination. What did you see from them in Week 1?
Yeah, I saw again the playmaking ability from both of them. Miles showed that real quick explosiveness and the acceleration and the speed that he has. Kenny showed his toughness and his ability to run between tackles and to make some plays out of the backfield. Again, we got some things to clean up in the pass game and in the run game, but they got off to a good start. Look to build on that, but also make the corrections that they need to make to play a better game next week.
Again, when they did not have the football, they were really solid in pass protection. So what does that mean to you?
That's super important. Obviously, it's this kind of the same thing. Like, hey, backs or receivers, when the ball gets to you on the perimeter, if you get a big block, we can turn this 10-yard gain into a 20-yard gain. Well, it's the same thing for the backs in pass protection. Now they get a chance to pay it forward to their receivers, right? Hey, if we block, they blitz the guy back, you're on him. If you get this picked up, there's one less guy in coverage, and we can hit a big explosive pass play. So obviously that's important. It's important on both ends. That's why it's such a great game and the most ultimate team sport that everyone relies on each other. Running backs rely on wideouts rely on running backs. We all rely on the offensive line. But just the best ultimate team game.
Nick, really interesting to watch the tight ends. You got 3 of them on the active roster here that you use a lot in different ways, Zach and Dallas and also Jack. As you go week to week with those 3, how much does that help you just kind of with versatility in your game plan with some options that you might have?
They gave us a lot of versatility. You saw that we were in 13 personnel. We went a little bit of no huddle with that. And spread them out and went empty, but then we also packed it in there and tried to pound them. So they have versatility to be able to do both. We feel really good about all of them as pass catchers. We feel really good about all of them as run blockers. And so that gives you a lot of versatility that the defense doesn't really know how to play it. I think the Falcons switched to their nickel defense when we were throwing, and then we were able to run a little bit on them. So that was good.
Nick, it's San Francisco coming to town this week. Big-time defense. What have you seen from them as you study?
Yeah, they got good players. They got good players along that front 7. They really do. They got some, they got some high draft picks in there and then I think they're coached well. They run a sound defense where they emphasize their speed and how they run around. The guys know what they're doing. They can play all types of different players, young guys, old guys, because they always know what to do. And so you see that, you see a good tackling unit. We're gonna have a challenge, and we just got to do everything we can do this week to be ready for it.
Nick, last week on Sunday, very emotional win. How do you bounce back emotionally? What do you look for during the week from your team?
I think it's just that same thing. If we constantly talk about playing the next play, it's not just playing the next play. It's not just like, hey, I'm going, we talk about this dog mentality all the time. It's not going from this play to this play. It's also going week to week. It's also going practice from practice. It's also going series to series, quarter to quarter, game to game, everything. So, it's just having that same mindset of, I'm in the moment right now. I'm not worried about what happened. If you get too high on what happened last week, you're going to get your butt kicked this upcoming week. So it's that same mindset that I feel like we had all training camp and all week this last week. How are we getting better today? How are we going to leave this building today better than we were yesterday and be ready to put ourselves in position to try to get that win on Sunday?
You've got a taste here finally of Philadelphia after a win. What do you want from the fans at Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday?
Oh, man, it was great to see the fans out there at Atlanta there the other day when you could just see all the green in the stands. They were yelling for us. It was awesome. It was awesome to hear the Eagles chant, near the end of that game. It was really cool. So look forward to when the entire stadium is all Eagle fans. So I know it's a great place to play, a great atmosphere. It's a great advantage for us. And so just I know what we have to go through when we're on the road. And I know that the fans some of the other teams that we go on the road aren't nearly the type of fans we have. So I know the headaches that it creates our opposing offenses in particular when they have to come into the link. So look forward to being on that side of it this Sunday.
Our weekly one-on-one with head coach Nick Sirianni presented by Wawa. Coach Nick, thanks so much. Good luck against the 49ers.
Thanks, Dave.